am not sure if you are there yet. I've got a little pinwheel scrolling around, so I'm just going to give it a minute and see. All right, I think you're there now. So, hey, it's Saturday morning, and today is the I think it's the 26th of July, and it is 2020, and we are all experiencing kind of an unforeseen summer, right? Like I'm used to going to music festivals and the beach and having friends over and swimming and going to all the fun festival type um, events that happen in our area. And this year, none of that, which is great. My garden is doing amazing. It looks awesome. I've had tons of time to spend in the garden, and I think that I'm gonna really work at making that my focus for summer months in the future. But it's not great for people who don't have the ability to be outdoors or people who live alone. So I have committed to being with you guys for 30 days to teach you about some creative textile recycling techniques that I use and just information that I think is really helpful. So before I get going too far, if you're out there listening, let me know. Pop a comment in the feed and let me know where you are, where you're tuning in from, and I'll give you a little bit of background information about me. My name is Crispina French, and my last name is spelled with two lowercase f's, which is super unusual. And I was actually born in Ireland, where that's not quite as unusual. But if you'll often see like the boy's name Aaron or the name Lloyd spelled Aaron or Lloyd, and those are also of Irish descent. And it comes from a story that my dad told me. Now taken, the man was Irish, so he was a storyteller. Is that before there was a capital alphabet, people used two lowercase letters to establish proper nouns. And in Ireland, that was not introduced to their culture until several hundred years after it was introduced to the rest of Europe. And when they introduced it to Ireland, a lot of people were just not really into it, and they wanted to keep their two lowercase letters. So there you have it. Anyway, my name is Crispina French, and I am a textile recycling artist and entrepreneur. And I'm a social, I'm very passionate about racial justice and environmentalism. So I have been making and selling things from recycled clothing and other textile waste since 1987, and I started my business in 1989. So it's been a while. And I just wanted to show you, this is a beach bag that I made out of denim. And I have these for sale in my shop right now. And they're super duper awesome. It's kind of hard to show you. I'm going to see if I can angle that camera down a little bit. They fit great over your shoulder. You can fit a ton of stuff in here. Beach toys for the little ones, blankets, towels, whatever. It's nice and big. There's a pocket on the outside, and there's also a pocket on the inside if you want to stash your keys or whatever. So if you have denim kicking around and you are not using it and you want to send it my way, I would be so appreciative. And I also teach classes. So if you're interested in learning how to make your own denim bag, that might be something on the horizon, although I don't have anything on my docket for that this year. But let me know if you're interested, because I can put it on my docket in the future. Good morning, Anne. How are you, honey? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying cool in this. It's probably really hot down by you. Okay, so today I wanted to talk to you guys about the fashion industry and about fast fashion, which I think is a term that is, you might have heard it out there in the media, and just kind of explaining to you a little bit more about what that means and how to avoid it, because fast fashion is a term that's used, and I think it initially came from fast food, and it refers to companies that produce clothing that are they're made quickly, they're the main focus is on cost and not quality. And when you focus solely on cost of anything, any kind of product that you're producing, the people who are actually making the product are neglected in the process, because you're always trying to, like, I'm going to pay you 3 cents to do this seam or whatever. A lot of people in the fashion industry, the people who actually make your clothes, are paid oftentimes by the piece. And often that means that they're not making minimum wage, they're not being fairly treated, they're sometimes not considered employees, so they don't get employee benefits. They're considered contractors, which is just really unfair. So there's a lot of information around this subject, and I have a lot of information in my head around it. So if you guys have questions, you can certainly put them in the comments. But companies like H&M, Zara, Gap, JC, J. Crew, Century 21, PacSun, the stores where stuff is like, 3 shirts for $30 or whatever, um, are culprits in this industry. And there's a lot of information about their business practices on a place called remake.world. And I'm going to put a link to this really cool, it's a not-for-profit organization, and it's international. I just posted a link to it in this comment. So after we're done chatting today, check it out, because it's really, their whole mission is to make fashion a force for good. And one of the things that happens in the fashion industry is, okay, so fast fashion. So you might have heard, probably, I'm going to say 10 years ago now, maybe it could have been longer ago than that, there was a factory in Bangladesh that collapsed and 1,300 people were killed. And I don't know if you heard about that, but the factory collapsed because it was just like super shoddy architecture, and the women who worked there, predominantly women, were trapped inside and they couldn't get out and they died. And that kind of was like an international event that shined a lot of light on the fast fashion industry, and kind of made people who were unaware of it prior more aware that there was really a problem. So when you're at Walmart or you're at Target, or you're buying things that are really inexpensive, that are new, you're supporting that kind of industry where people are really mistreated. So I encourage all of my listeners, followers, friends, and family to really consider shopping secondhand. There's actually, even in the pandemic, you can still do it. There's a couple of different online thrift platforms. There's ThreadUp, which is a really fun platform. They have a really a little quiz that's like, what's your fashion footprint? That's fun to take. And there's also Poshmark, and both of those are really very large platforms, and you can find, you can type in the brand that you're looking for or your size or whatever. You can really filter down the results when you search for whatever it is that you might want to add to your wardrobe. So that's a really great way to update your wardrobe affordably, without supporting the fast fashion industry. And then if you get into the habit of really buying a lot of secondhand clothing, you can also then rationalize spending a little bit more on the things that you don't want to buy secondhand, or that you just love and you want to buy new. So you can, find a company that, there's a lot of small little boutique manufacturing companies all across the United States and Canada that manufacture beautiful, ethically produced, like fair trade is an actual certification like organic, but when I say ethically produced, like the people who you're buying them from actually made them themselves, or they have a small staff that are treated really nicely. And you can learn a lot about the different companies that are doing that kind of work at remake.world. So, and the other thing that's really cool about remake.world is that I am an ambassador for them. So, you have to go through kind of a vetting process to become an ambassador, and they are really excited about what I do. And are super excited to have me be on their roster of people speaking out about the fashion industry. The fashion industry is predominantly women, and a lot of the kind of you know higher up, the CEOs, the kind of muckety mucks in the fashion industry are men, but the people who are actually doing the work and making our clothing are most often women. And even if it says made in the USA, that does not mean that it's made ethically. They just did a little mini documentary that you can find on the remake.world site about just that, about women in, I think it was in LA that they were focusing their attention, where there was a woman they featured, and I got to speak with her, who was from the Philippines, and she didn't know that there was a minimum wage. She didn't know that she was being taken advantage of, and that other people who spoke, she did not have full command of the language, so she was being paid less than people who spoke English, um, and she was a very productive, really highly trained seamstress who learned through her time working and studying the language and really getting a full command of English, that she did have rights, and she could actually bring her mistreatment to the attention of people who could help her. So um, that was a really eye-opening. It's like I think it's about a 15-minute documentary, definitely worth a watch. And if you have questions about the companies that you like to support, you can look them up and you can learn about their practices that are it's a lot of it is public knowledge. A lot of it's not, and if it's not public knowledge, you can kind of bet that it's not great, because if they were excited about their production process, they'd probably want to tell you about it. So there's one thing about H&M that is a little bit of a, it's a little confusing, because H&M has a recycling program, which is kind of awesome. Like, you can bring clothing to H&M and M and get a discount, or I think they give you a small, I don't remember if it's a discount or a coupon or something. But H&M is one of the biggest offenders of the fast fashion. And the other thing that happens when you buy fast fashion clothing is you're buying really poorly made. Like, the fabric is not great quality. It's made as quickly as possible with this cheap labor as they can find. So every little detail that they can cut back on, they do. So, like, the thread quality, the seams are not sturdy. They're going to wear out. They're designed to be worn for a season, which means, like, there's actually, in the fashion industry, there's 5 seasons a year. There's, winter, spring, summer, fall, and cruise. And cruise is like summer clothes in the winter for those people who travel to warm climates. And actually, that's all probably a little bit on the back burner this year with the pandemic. But the that's what they're designed for. So when you buy a pair of jeans for, I bought my kids a bunch of clothing, at the beginning of last school year, and we went to the Gap. We have an outlet village by where we live, and we went to the Gap. That's what they wanted to do, and I was like, I force enough of this stuff down my kids' throats. So when they want to go school clothes shopping, I say, okay, this is how much you each get, this much money, and we can, you can go to the thrift store and buy 100 things, or you can go to the Gap store and buy 5 things. So you choose. And we usually go to the thrift store first. We did. And the girls, they both wanted to get jeans. So we bought Gap jeans. And this is not a slight to Gap specifically. It's just a description of the fast fashion world and how that works. Those jeans that I bought for my older daughter are gone. They're both worn out. The seams blew out. There was tears. There was the seams, like, in the, in her upper thighs. They, like, just fell apart. Like, and I said to her, I said, Lucy, I have a pair of jeans that I wore in high school. They're made by Levi's. They were long before spandex. Do you remember those? Anybody out there? Raise your hand if you remember those, how painful tight jeans were back in the 1980s. So, the jeans that I have from high school, I mean, they're perfectly wearable. They're not worn out. And, that was a few years back now. So, Yeah, she decided that, and actually Levi's is a pretty reputable company. They have a pretty good track record for ethical treatment. They do a really good job with minimizing their use of water, which is another thing about the fast fashion industry is that there is so much pollution and so much they're not concerned at all with the idea that we need to be conservative and thinking about our consumption in the process. They're just solely focused on how much is it going to cost and how cheaply can I sell this product at, and how quick can I turn this around. So I'm going to take a minute and check the comments here. I got to put my glasses on for this part and see if we got any questions. Oh, hey, Carolyn, how are you, honey? Jan, um, oh, I'm so glad you're here with me live today. That's so nice. I'm glad. Carolyn, a lot of Facebook ads for clothes are made overseas. They are fast fashions. Yes, exactly. This is exactly what I'm saying. Carolyn just brought it up. You can, it's very tempting. You're online and you're kind of scrolling and you see something that's super cute and you think, oh, I'm going to order that. And actually, I mean, it happens to all of us. It happened to me. Um, and I bought this it's like a pair of it's overalls, but it's like a spaghetti strap. It's like super great for summer. A little kind of scoop, not too open on the sides, so you can wear like a tank top under it. Big wide legs, pockets, which are key to me. And I ordered it. It was last summer, and it took 3 months to arrive. It was very inexpensive. I think it was like I don't know, $30 or something, and took 3 months to arrive. I washed it. I am fastidious about washing my clothing. When I buy new clothes, I wash it before I wear them because they have all sorts of finishing chemicals on the fabric that make it stay clean in the retail environment and fold nicely. And it's they're treated with chemicals that I don't particularly want on my skin. And you can smell the chemicals when you buy new clothing. Take a whiff and see what you think. So I recommend that to everyone. Just throw it in the wash machine before you wear it. So I did, and the thing shrunk up so much that it was totally changed in appearance. And I made it work, and I kind of adapted it and added a little fabric to the bottom of the legs so they weren't like knickers on me. But it was disappointing at best, and it was $30, and if I had spent $100 and saved up and like bought something super special that was really nicely made, I actually would have saved money if you look at it that way. Yes, Jan is pointing out that those sites, nothing is ever as good as it looks or as advertised. And one of the things I've noticed actually on Facebook specifically is that there's a lot of knockoffs. If you go on, I have two friends who have businesses that have quite a distinct look with their clothing line, and their stuff is beautifully made, and it's handmade in this country, and they spend a lot of time doing beautiful finishes, and they're artists. They're not just fashion designers and producers. So both of those two companies have been knocked off by these, sidebar ads that you see on Facebook that are, you can. One of them makes these beautiful sweater coats, and her sweater coats are, $500 or $600 when you buy them from her. And on these ads that I've seen, they're like, $49 or something. And someone posted a picture of like what the advertisement looked like and then what the thing was that she got, and it was like the difference between a piece of paper towel and a beautiful linen tea towel. It was just not the same. So yeah, I feel like it's really not a great, don't shop there. Basically, is what I'm telling you. Oh, and hi, MJ. I'm so glad that you're here. Thanks for popping in. Welcome. It looks like it's your first time. I am not familiar with Indigena. I'm not familiar, but you can look them up. And actually, they might be listed on, I popped a link in the feed at the beginning. If you scroll back up to the top of the comments, you'll see it's the third comment down. There's a website called remake.world, and they have a really good index and directory of sustainable companies that they support and feature in their. The website is quite large. There's all sorts of information there, and I think that if you scroll over or if you click over to that a little later, you'll be surprised at how much information they have there, which really it really helps because sometimes you just need a top for some particular event. You need something specific, and you know where you can find it, and even if it's not a company that you love, time is the most precious commodity that we all have. So um yeah, and I think you'll find that kind of grading system in the remake.world site. I think you'll be happy with that. And I am always looking as well. So one of the things that I really like to do is shout out to you guys about companies that are doing really great work and being correct, being nice. It's such a command, like in this day and age, right? Like, just to be nice and fair is like, wow, you're nice and fair. Oh my gosh. Like, I don't know. I just like to think that that's human nature, but corporations tend to get in the way sometimes. So a couple of brands that I like to support, just to kind of give you some ideas, is Patagonia is a great brand. And I've said this before on other live sessions, that Patagonia is a wonderful brand. They're great, and they're also very expensive. So some people don't have the means to buy Patagonia, but if you find Patagonia in the thrift store, go for it. Or if you're, go on ThredUp, go on Poshmark. If you find something that's made by Patagonia, I can tell you that it will last you a while. And that's another thing when you are shopping for clothing. If you buy good quality stuff, it's going to last you for much longer. And if it's something that you wind up not wearing, it'll survive the donation process into the thrift stream, where someone else will buy it and it'll last them a long time, and they'll, if there's a garment that you're not loving for whatever reason, that's not cut the right way to fit your body properly, somebody will find it and think it's a super treasure, and it'll continue the life cycle in the thrift stream, which these fast fashion pieces just don't do. They wind up in the landfill, and most fast fashion is not natural fiber, so it's made out of plastics. I mean, polyester, acrylic, nylon, those are all different kinds of plastics. So when when that goes into the landfill, it takes, like a garbage bag, hundreds of years to biodegrade, and then when it does, it becomes microplastics that are winds up in our water and our soil. So we actually have so much power as individuals to really think about, like, how we spend our money. And that example I gave you of the summer kind of overall romper thing that I bought is a really good example. It's like, yeah, it only cost $30, but I might as well have thrown the $30 out the window, or put it in my piggy bank and saved up a couple $30, maybe three or four or five $30 worth of savings to buy something that is really going to last me a while and be made out of nice fabric. So it is really, um, a good idea to just focus in on the power that we have and to support the businesses that we do love. And you don't necessarily have to love the business. You just want to be able to support businesses that are doing work that you agree with, that match your ethics and your morals. So another company that I really like, that's a much less expensive company, is called Pact, P-A-C-T. They make organic cotton basics. Like, actually, I think, yeah, this little cami that I have on, it's like, it's like a stretchy top with a built-in bra thing. Great for working in the garden, like I was doing before I got here. And they're just like, they do a line of they have leggings, they have tank tops, t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts. It's all cotton. They do kids stuff, adult stuff, men's and women's. It's all affordable. And I'll tell you, I kind of just sampled a bunch of their stuff last year around this time, just to kind of get an idea of quality. It's amazing. It's really, I'm impressed. Another company, now Pact is made, I believe, in India. They're not domestically produced, but they are very responsible in their production. Another company that I really like to support is called American Giant, and if anybody loves like a nice, thick, sturdy sweatshirt the way I do, I really recommend them. They kind of first became known for a zipper hoodie that sold out like immediately as soon as they put it on the market because it's just the best garment. Like I love zipper hoodies. I love wool really. That's my favorite. But like if for the summer or like there's just something about that thick cotton that's just awesome. Um, so they make a great collection of very basic, like they do hoodies, a lot of different kinds of sweatshirts for men and women. And they also do like jeans, t-shirts, um, waffle shirts, Henleys. Um, I did buy a pair of their like dress pants for women, and I'm not crazy about the fabric. It's like a nylon. I don't know what it is. It's some kind of stretchy, non-natural fiber. I didn't read the fine print. I thought it was cotton when I got them. I wasn't super psyched about them, but if you read the fine print and find out what kinds of materials they're using, I think if you stick with the more natural fiber options, that you'll be happy. Um, and they are made in the United States, which I just think is pretty noble. As in these days of our labor wages are much higher than they are in other parts of the world. And but if you support American made businesses, you're supporting your neighbors and friends and family by making sure that jobs are secure. So that is, let's see, what is this? I'm an upcycler in Central New York. Okay, I have been upcycling clothing for over 10 years. I do art and craft shows. I have not done any shows this year. Okay, cool. So Colleen has her little, um, she's posted a link to her site there. Thank you for that, Colleen. That's helpful. There's a lot of people who are making upcycled art kind of clothing, and Colleen is one of them. You can check out her work. And you can also go on Etsy. Etsy is another great resource for generally small, like batch clothing, designer made um, things to wear and, for the home, whatever. Um, you have to kind of be careful though, because Etsy sort of changed. Etsy is Etsy, it's ETSY for anyone who doesn't know. And it's a platform um, on that's all handmade. And it used to be super rigid, like you had to make, if you're opening a shop here on Etsy, then you are making it and you were selling it, and it's just you. And then a couple of years ago, they were like, oh, well, you can open an Etsy shop if you have a small studio and you have small manufacturing. And the word small kind of was a little amorphic. Nobody really knows exactly what that means, but you do have to read the fine print a little bit more if you're shopping on Etsy than you used to have to, because there are a lot of things on there that are not necessarily handmade or designer made. I mean, they're handmade, but what does that actually mean? Like, you'll see when you go there. There's if you search on Etsy, recycle. There's also a lot of thrift, vintage clothing on Etsy too, which is another great resource for that. And Angel Sweet Skins Hemp is an Oregon company that uses organic hemp and does basics and some dresses and skirts. Cool. This is awesome. We're building a little resource, you guys. So Angel, is Sweet Skins Hemp a company that you have supported? Do you own their stuff? And if so, that's great, because it's nice to know that someone's bought it and used it and had a good experience. So anybody else who might be watching this session as a recording, feel free to post brands that you support and feel like should be part of our little directory here that we're building. At any rate, I think that's about all I got for you guys today. If you think of any questions, holler out. Check out Remake. I'm not sure. It looks like there's a bunch of new folks watching that might not have caught that beginning entry when I popped in the comments. It's the third comment from the top. That's remake.world, and it's a really great not-for-profit organization that's an international, and they kind of are, their whole mission is to make fashion a force for good. So there's a lot of different aspects of the fashion industry that could really use some improvement. And if you scroll down through their ambassador list, you'll see my face because I am their newest ambassador, and I'm so excited about working with these people. It's such a great group, and most of the women involved, most of them are women, and they're mostly much younger than me and are kind of finding sustainable fashion as a new thing in their life. So it's pretty fun to have all these beautiful young people who are super interested in my life's passion. And I think you'll get a lot out of going to their site and checking it out too. So I think it's going to be a beautiful day out there. And I think you guys are awesome. And thank you so much for spending your Sunday morning with me. And I really look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. So this is day number 14 in a 30-day series, and every day live at 11 right here on Facebook. It's 11 o'clock my time. I'm in Massachusetts, so tune in again. And if there's a couple of things that are kind of fun, little kind of gamification details that I should let you know before I sign off, and those are, if you tag a friend who you think would be interested in creative textile recycling and the whole kind of way that we can be responsible with our textile consumption. Tag a friend in the comments of the feed, and then send me your mailing address. I'll send you a screen print in the mail. And I make these little cool screen prints, which I should have a stack of to show you. This is just the same one I showed yesterday. It's just, I am thankful for you. Most of them are a little bit more, this is a single color print. And the reason why I send out screen prints is because my sister and I, in addition to my textile recycling business, my sister and I run a screen printing business, and we're in our 50th year. It's a family business that my parents founded in 1970. So you can learn about that. I'm going to put my little, let's see. Sage recommends another company. This is awesome, you guys. This is so exciting to have all of this information compiled in one spot. So thank you for sharing links to your favorite sustainable brands. And I'm gonna pop in. So yes, tag your friends. If you tag a friend, I'll send you a screen print in the mail. And the screen prints are all handmade by me, myself, and my screen print team. And it's the Dolphin. I'm just going to make a link to the Dolphin Studio page so you guys can check it out right here on Facebook. It's our family business. Tag a friend. It's hard for me to talk and type at the same time, sorry. Tag a friend right here in these comments and send me your mailing address so I can send you a print in the mail. Perfect, you guys. Thanks so much for being here. Enjoy the rest of this beautiful weekend. And don't forget to be kind to yourself. Okay, people ask me all the time, like, what is the best thing I can do to, help change the trajectory of our climate crisis and the environment? And the first thing you can do is be kind to yourself and just give yourself some slack. And just, yes, there you go. So be kind to yourself. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 11, and you can always scroll down and see the previous episodes if you're not available at 11 to be here live with me. So they're all right on my Facebook page, and I look forward to staying in touch with you. Thanks so much. Have a great day.